Hey everyone. Okay, so I know that a lot of you have been having problems with doing your, well, their right, your left brow. And with the exception of, laying it on your bed and figuring out what's right, nobody can ever get the two to match. So I'm going to do one upside down. I always do this one upside down. The next video I'm going to do is actually going to be both upside down, which is something I've been working on myself. Just trying to find like an easier and better way. Right now I'm using the classic. This is the older model, so it's got a little more of a cushion here. It also comes with a wipe, which should be included in the new packages. Also a sticky cup for pigment. I'm sorry, I put mine on the cap. And if you didn't watch my previous video, what's cool about these things when you're practicing is you can just close it up and it stays fresh, and you can still keep your pigment so you're not wasting it. But I am going to do this one the way I was taught, which is not standard, so do not use this as a submission for your online. Okay, so remember, with the classic blade, it's always got to be a 90-degree angle, never on a slant. But when you're doing these strokes, you're going to pull up. So we'll just start with, like this. Good, there we go. Again, I'm going to show you my style, not what you should be submitting if you didn't learn this way. Remember, when you're twisting, always twist with your fingers, not with your wrist. Your wrist should be stationary, and another balancing trick is your pinky. Spine method is still the same, so we're going to go to 6. I'll also do a video in the next coming days of a spine 5 and a spine 3. Which, remember, the only reason it's called a spine 6 is because your spine is literally going from T3 to point 6. Again, remember, your spine line should always be straight, never curved. And don't worry about the pencil because when you go to wipe your pigment off, it comes off. Okay. Now, this stroke I find is kind of really important. You want to make sure it's on your outline. I don't know if you've noticed in a lot of, submissions or people's photos or whatever, for some reason, this one always goes rogue and there's like this long random stroke here. So if we keep it on the line and keep in mind that it's still part of your lower strokes, it's gonna look better. Like I've seen 1,000 times with one long stroke that's like here and it goes down to like here, and it really shouldn't. Just on that line, very soft. Sorry, that was me practicing both brows upside down. So I'm just gonna turn. Hold, please. So you can see my uppers. Like I said, I'm just turning it, but I'm still working upside down.
Thank you very much. I hope everybody's having a good evening.
So the first one's gonna be the little baby.
From the ticking time bomb, waiting to blow my tongue. No one would ever know.
We're still gonna get gradually bigger and longer, but we're never gonna curve down. And the top, the uppers are gonna start pointing, just remember at 0.6. Once we get to about here, right before the arch, then start pointing at the tail. Because I think a lot of people get confused when they just go directly for the tail, and that's when you're developing that curve that you're not supposed to have. These are never supposed to touch, but they should be kind of on top of each other, like halfway. Maybe a little less. So now we're going to start pointing to 0.3. And let's also remember not to draw just straight lines here on the tail. They still need to come out a little bit. I notice that that's a problem for some people, is just drawing, 2 or 3 straight lines here. They still do need to come off. Not too much, but they gotta come off. Okay, so now here is where things get a little different for all of us, I think. So I put fillers in here about halfway. Okay, so to create your spine, which we've already got our line set and we've got our lowers. Well, now here's where the important part comes, okay? So they're gonna merge there and bring it over to the next one, staying on that line. Pigment. Merge, bring it over. You should be connecting that filler stroke, bringing it, not creating another line. They're all gonna merge together. Remember, I think your pinky is kind of the power to have balance and monitor your pressure. Because it really does prevent you from just like going batshit and going really deep. So if you can see, I'm staying on that line. That line is extremely important. So now we're going to go back and we're going to do our uppers. Sometimes if you find a little weird space that you don't like, it's totally fine to just go in there. Obviously not for, submission. It's totally acceptable to put an extra stroke or two if you find an area that you don't like that's bare. Okay, upper strokes. So that baby only needs one. And guess where it's going? It's going to merge onto that line. Onto that line. thing that we never want to do is cross lines. And it happens all the time. You just gotta take your time. If you don't take your time, that's when things get messy. So if you can see, I know you can, we're building chains or stacking. I will tell you one thing about the Fee Latex, which this is that PMU products, but it's pretty similar. It is nothing like real skin. So if you can get your hands on pig skin or bananas, or anything with layers to it, you're gonna have a much better experience going into your models. Because my first cut on human skin was obviously nothing like this. And the thing that I want to say about Febrow's technique that I really like is, you know, a lot of these new brow companies, because everybody's coming out with microblading right now, is they are all ending up like a herringbone shape at the end, you know, like, how do I describe it, you know? Like that. And that is like so not natural. So that's why I really do love Febrow's technique, because it never ends up looking like that. Okay. So now let's flip this guy around. And I've also learned that oil well, I've always known that alcohol works, but oil works just as good on bee skin. And the good thing about oil is it does not destroy your hands, unless you're practicing with gloves, but obviously I don't do that. Level 5 And you can use any oil. You can use, you know, vegetable oil, canola oil, doesn't matter. I'll come off. Coconut oil, I heard people are doing. So that was a fully upside down left brow. And the best part about doing this, I think, is like you can always go back after you sit your client up and be like, oh, well, look at, there's a gap there, I want to put something there. as you can see, here's your clear spine. Oh, and ignore this outline. Obviously, I drew over it. I clearly was not trying to stay in the outline. That's probably throwing everybody off. So, basic idea of how I do it. Obviously, that was 20 minutes. That takes a lot longer on human skin. But that's another technique. Have a good night.